what's up you guys? My name is Cybermen and welcome back to LEGO Arts. So in the last episode, we began part 1 on LEGO Doctor Who. Now continuing on, we are doing part 2, which is the Companions and Villains edition. So for the Companions, we have Rose Tyler, Donna Noble, Amelia Pond, Clara Oswald, River Song, and K9. And for the Villains, we got a couple of Daleks, a couple of Cybermen, and the Master. The John Sims version, because he's my favorite Master. I was originally going to be recording this one yesterday, like after I uploaded it, the first part, but I was looking at a couple of these minifigures and I thought like, ooh, there could actually be a couple of changes. I didn't like how they turned out, so I quickly grabbed them and made some last minute modifications to them. And brought it back here, and now we can actually continue on do our showcase. So, as you guys know the whole drill, we're going to take these minifigures one at a time, do a review, explain my whole process, why I went through this route, and go from there. So, let us go down through the time stream. So to start off through the Companions, of course, like the Doctors, we're going from first Companion to, well, not really current, but the latest Companion in this case. Okay, so to start off with Rose Tyler. This was another one of the first minifigures I made for the Doctor Who showcase, and she definitely went through a lot of changes. I don't fully remember all of the evolutions she went through, but the previous one, before I repainted this and redid the minifigure, was that I had her in her pink sweatshirt but with gray sleeves, because back then I wasn't fully creative, but now I am. The jeans are still the same that I've had before. But yesterday, when looking back at this, I thought, I can make some changes. And so, I took the body, painted it into a purple. I tried to match it up as close to, the... I don't even remember, the name of the episode, but it was when Rose returned, and it was, one of Ten's last adventures with companions. He reunited with Rose, and it was amazing and everything. So I tried to get her outfit as close to that as I could. I was basing it off of, an action figure I saw online. So most of it isn't exactly accurate. I couldn't find any images for the back, so I just went with my guts and did as best as I could. Luckily, since, the front of it had a paper decal on, it was much easier to paint on, and also much easier to do the Sharpie on. Because Sharpie, sometimes, it's not very easy to do it on a simple Lego body. The arms, of course, are covered in the purple paint as well. The headpiece, this came from, I don't even know which one, but it was, one of the minifigures I previously bought. And I decided to go ahead with just a regular headpiece, because I felt the decal head that I originally had for this one, it was too big. So I got rid of that. And, the hairpiece, when looking at Rose's hair in that one, I couldn't find a hairpiece that would, match as close to that one. So, this is just about as close as I could get to it. So I don't think it's, the best one, but I think it's just about, as accurate as I could get to it. So, it's okay. It's okay, but it's pretty satisfying, nonetheless. If you look at some of the other previous ones, you'll definitely think that this is an improvement. Okay then, now let's move on to our next companion. Next up on our list, of course, is the sassiest companion out of all of them, and then Donna Noble. This one is one of the last companions that I made back when I first started on Doctor Who, and it was because I was just in the stages for I knew Rose Tyler and Clara Oswald, and then when I saw Donna, but my sister and I, we saw Donna, it was just okay, gotta make a minifigure of her. Back with now looking at this minifigure, I think it's now one of the least customized minifigures out of all of them. Out of all the companions, and it's mainly because, her outfit is pretty simple. I was trying to replicate of, her suit outfit, the one that she wore in Partners in Crime, when we get the return of Donna. Looking back at this now, I think I might change it to match more of, her final outfit. And once again, for Rose return. Again, might. In general, this is kind of a good base for, what Donna would look like. Our hairpiece is kind of one of those Princess Braid kind of hairpieces. I thought that was, closest to what Donna looked like on the show. Her face, if you recognize the face, this is actually the same one that I used to make North in the LEGO Detroit Become Human. I actually used the face for this one the first time, actually, so I sort of, based North off of this one, because I felt this face matched up with Donna the most to bring off, that sassy look and everything. Her legs can actually bend, even though they're, covered in acrylic black, which is very nice. The only downside with this minifigure, really, is is the arms. The arms, back when I first did this one, the hands that I originally picked for this one, they were very loose, like they would always pop out of the arms. So finally, I got frustrated with it, and took some crazy glue, glued them in. Like, I can't bend them, but I tried to get a position for where, like, she could hold something nonetheless. So, I'm not really proud of that, moment. So, I might go back and change this minifigure in order to make it look more of a functional minifigure, because it's bad enough, like, usually with some customs that the legs can't move. It's probably even worse if the hands can't move. So, I think I might be able to change that in the future. Now then, let's move on to our next companion. Next up is the first face the 11th Doctor ever saw, Amelia Pond, aka Amy Pond. Amy Pond. This one, I think, was one of the last companions I made, because I'm not joking when I say that's I didn't really know about Amelia until, like, the time at the Doctor. Like, pretty much, I always thought that Clara was, like, the first of 11's companions. And then after, like, rewatching all the Doctor Who, like, all the 11 series, I then realized, like, oh, never mind. Whoops. So I had to make this one. So with Amy is probably, like, an interesting custom. Like, the head, I definitely changed it last night, because once again, I thought the face was a bit too big, so I changed the head. The hairpiece, I thought that this one suited best for what Amy looks like on the show. The back, of course, like, the decal is printed on the back, which, side notes, the decals I used for this, they'll be in the links description below. Not really much to go on. Oh yeah, the body I actually used was for a Supergirl minifigure I received in the mail, and it was kind of an interesting mold, because the way how I don't know who made this, but the way how they designed the body, it was like there were curves inside the minifigure body. And I've seen, like, a couple of Michael MGF's minifigures for, like, whenever he makes a female minifigure, he takes those bodies. I think it's weird. Like, why do we really have that? But who am I to judge? And the legs are actually, like, some of the least customized, because there was mainly not really a reason to customize them. I just painted on, like, the black shoes, and this skirt was actually, like, part of Supergirl. I just looked at some photos of Amy, and I thought, like, okay, this is about, like, the closest to Amelia's skirt. So I just kept the skirt the same, and kept everything pretty much the same as it was. So, aside from, like, the headpiece and, like, the body, this is pretty much, like, the same minifigure I've had for a while. And it's pretty good. And again, I'm glad I got to do Amy. Now, for our next companion, it's not really going to be, like, a custom, it's going to be more of a review. Next up is the Impossible Girl, Clara Oswald. Now, this one is mainly review, because this minifigure I kept intact, because it's from the LEGO Ideas Doctor Who sets. Since it's based off of the time of the Doctor, this is the outfit she wore throughout that one. Now, admittedly, I almost thought about, like, changing the outfits, like, making it more of, like, the Day of the Doctor outfit, but I decided to just keep it the same, like, with the time of the Doctor, because it was pretty cool. So, like, for review of this, let's take a look at some of the printing they've done. Like, for instance, the body. The body is pretty well done. I like it of how they made, the torso. You can see, like, the white shirt underneath, and if you look directly in the lights, there we go. We also see, like, a little gold necklace as well. And I think there's some more printing on the back. Yeah, not too much, but a little bit to continue on with the pattern. Nothing really on the arms, because they were pretty plain, and, like, on the show. The skirt, though, I think is my favorite piece of this minifigure, because it's very well made. I love it how they did, like, the flannel kind of piece, and how, like, they kept the design going, like, all the way at the legs. They kept it, like, all the way around the body. I think that's, like, really, really cool. Well, and also they got, like, some printing, like, on the shoes. Yeah, go away, thumb. Like, we see the shoes, they go around as well. And, like, the hairpiece, I think it suits Clara pretty well, like, back then. Now, I think she has more of, like, a pixie hair. Or at least, like, a short hair. I don't know, I haven't seen, like, Doctor Who in a while. Taking off the headpiece, though, I think it's pretty cool. Like, on one side, we get, like, a more positive, happy face. And then on the other side, we see a more annoyed face. So, if you were wanting to reenact Doctor Who, you could just have, like, you can, like, twist her head, like, get annoyed with the Doctor with, like, he does something stupid, or, like, she doesn't understand, like, what the hell he's speaking. So, in general, this is actually a pretty cool minifigure, and I think this is one of my favorite companions, like, in the new series. So, I definitely wanted to keep this minifigure the same, and good job on LEGO for making this one. This is definitely, like, an awesome minifigure to do. Now then, let's move on to our next companion. Next up on the companions list is, I think they call her the Impossible Astronaut. I just really know her as, like, the Doctor's wife, and that is River Song, aka Melody Pond. Now this one I think is probably, like, one of the last minifigures I did, like, at first, for the companions. And with this one, as you can see, like, her outfit is very similar to the Indiana Jones kind of decal. I thought that was, like, a very suitable decal. So what I did was, like, I took a body that I wasn't using, and then I like, filled the color in blue to, like, really match up, like, the jean jacket she wears. So, this is almost like, and if you recognize, like, the legs are actually from an Indiana Jones minifigure. At first, like, her legs were just, like, a regular tan, but then when looking back at pictures, it's just like, oh, that's not how the legs should look. And I almost painted them like, blue, but then, like, when looking at this printing, I really like the printing of how, like, she has the gun holster, like, on the leg, so I wanted to keep that up. And speaking of the gun, and as you can see, like, it's a revolver mold, an actual official Lego piece. This actually came from, like, again, the Lone Ranger, as if you recall, I said that Matt Smith's body, originally his body was the Lone Ranger. I took the pistol and, like, this originally was gonna go to Supernatural, but then I took it and gave it to River, because I felt like this seems pretty well suited for this. And, like, her hands, and you can tell that they were, like, regular black hands, but I just painted on tan, henceforth of, like, the paint chipping away. And, like, the face, I can't remember if this was the first, it was definitely, like, one of the first headpieces for, like, the face was correct, but I tried painting around it, and I won't lie when I said that I felt super nervous about it, because in the past, what always happens is that, like, I try to get it correctly, and then if I mess up on the mouth, I then have to, like, either use my finger or, like, some other kind of object to slowly, gently try to chip the paint away. So it's very difficult. If you're a customizer and you've understood, and you've had to do stuff like this, I hope you understand, because it's just, like, it's not easy. It's really not. The hair is definitely different. I don't know how to describe, like, the first hairpiece I had for her, but it was more of, like, a wavy, and then, like, with the package I received, either, like, some of the minifigures I got, so there was, like, a couple of hairpieces for, I felt it matched more of, like, what River's hairstyle looks like. So I took that hairpiece, painted it up in, like, a tan cream kind of color, to match up with what River looks like on the show, and then put it on the headpiece. What I might do in the future is, like, maybe go back and see if I can, like, make her, like, Sonic Screwdriver. She doesn't really use it that much, except for, like, in the final scenes, but it'd definitely be, like, an interesting thing to try out. So, I think I'll, like, save that for a future idea. So now then, let's move on to our last companion and more buildable companion. Last up for the companions is K9. Every time traveler's best friend. And now this dog is sort of based off of, like, the Lego ideas, but it's not actually it. I don't have that pack. So, but when looking at this minifigure, you can tell that I painted on this. And as you can see, like, my hand painting, like, writing is not very well. But at the time, I was doing it as best as I could. But when making this, though, it was a little bit tricky. I wanted to find, like, a brick piece that had, like, multiple sides. And this originally was almost like a gun handle. Like, I think I almost I remember I tried using, like, one of those brick guns, you know what I mean? Like, the guns for, like, you can put some pieces on and sort of, like, build weapons around them. And then it originally was that body, but then I changed it up. And underneath is a couple of pieces. It says, I don't know what to call them. I don't know, like, the name of every brick. But I felt like these pieces, like, matched up more of, like, K9's body. And of course, like, he's got, like, one of these little controller rods or antennas. And it's that most sets like to use for, like, piloting ships and stuff. The headpiece, I think originally I had the head, like, mounted on there. But then I liked the Lego ideas of how, like, they modified it for what I had pieces for. Like, this one was connected to, like, one of these claws. And then, like, you could, K9, what are you doing? You could, like, bend it back and forth. And, like, he's got, like, the red stud. It's not even a stud. I don't know what to call it. But he's got, like, this red piece to represent, like, his eyes. And then, like, he's got these two front pieces up here to represent, like, his mouth. His nose and everything. And then he's got, like, one of these I don't even know what I'm speaking. these pieces for, like, you hold, like, rods or sword handles on the top of his head. I think it was an extra that I had for when doing the Lego Ideas set, and I saw it and I was like, ooh, I can use this. This can work. And it actually works pretty well. It works very well for, like, K9 for what he has to do. Affirmative. I'm hoping that K9 makes a return in Doctor Who, because that would be very cool to, like, see K9 again. I did hear that he got, like, his own show, maybe his own movie. I don't know if it still runs around, but it'd definitely be awesome to see, like, K9 make a return in the new Doctor Who. So, now that the companions are done, we can now move on to the villains. For the sake of the showcase, I'm only going to be reviewing one Dalek and one Cyberman, because they're literally the same thing. But with the Dalek here, I think it's very cool of how Lego approached this thing. Like, of course, like, we got some folded pieces here, like, to represent, like, some of the back of the Dalek. I imagine, like, the stud pieces, like, represents the many hole, like, the many, like, little spears on the Dalek. Looks like the dots. I think that's, like, a pretty cool approach. The arms, I definitely like. Like, I don't have it, but if you compare this to the LEGO Dimensions Dalek, I honestly think this one is way cooler. It matches up more of, like, what the Daleks look like. And plus, the Dalek on that one, I feel like their little ray gun and their sucker thing are a bit too close. And with this one, it actually, like, spreads it out even more and more. The head and the eyepiece, I definitely was trying to figure it out for a while, but I do like it of how it's a new piece for, like, you can stick a stud up here, and then there's, like, a small rod inside of it, and you can put it up in here. And at the top of here, like, with this little spear, and, like, this little, like, cylinder kind of headpiece, I really like it of how, like, they match it up, you know, to, like, what the Daleks would look like, including, like, the printing for, like, where the lights would be. This would be, I might try to, like, make some Daleks in the future, like, see if I can, like, make a Dalek, and probably, like, do these pieces, like, interdimensional. But, again, this is actually, like, a pretty cool piece, and I'm glad that LEGO Ideas, I'm glad of, like, how they approached it, and I'm glad that they included the Daleks into it, because you can't have Daleks, and you can't have the Doctor without some Daleks. Now then, let's move on to our next villain. So next up is probably, like, one of my favorite Doctor Who monsters, and that is the Cybermen. Now, this one I actually didn't buy, like, the Lego Dimension pack. I didn't even, like, buy these on eBay. During, like, one of the yearly, like, Lego conventions up in Denver, I went up there, and then, like, when looking at some of the booths, I saw that they had, like, some Cybermen, and I'm like, ooh, those would be cool minifigures. And I really like this minifigure. I think it's, like, very cool, and it's even, like, my favorite version of the Cybermen, because I think of them as, like, alien Iron Men, like, when you think about it. They're pretty cool. I do like the printing of, like, how it really looks up on here, and how it continues down a little bit to the legs. No printing on the arms. I kind of wish there was. The back, I do like it of how, like, they've built this, like, mechanical spine. That looks, like, really, really cool. But my favorites, actually, about this is the headpiece. The head mold is definitely, like, really, really, really cool. Really cool. And I'm nervous of, like, trying to replicate that, because I kind of want to make Cybermen, but at the same time, I don't want to, like, butcher the headpiece. So, like, if I ever got a 3D printer, I would definitely use this as a template to, like, make more Cybermen molds. And I do like it how it's an actual mold. Like, it's not a head, like, it's not a helmet piece or anything. It's completely an alternate headpiece. It's very nice. Very nice. And one of these days, I might get another Cyberman head, because I kind of want to do, like, the Handles thing. Like, anybody remember Handles? Yeah, he was one of, like, the more amazing characters. And I got 2 Cybermen, because it was like, I have 2 Daleks, why not get 2 Cybermen? So I did really wanted to approach this one with some pretty cool ideas. I don't know, like, what the Cybermen will, like, look like in their next upgrade, but I think it'll look pretty cool, and this is, like, a really cool minifigure. Now then, let's move on to our last villain / minifigure for the showcase. And last up, of course, is the Master, John Sims. And this one actually went through different phases. This wasn't even, like, entirely the original minifigure I did. Like, back when I was, like, really getting into, like, the customization for Doctor Who, I wanted to make the Master, because I wanted to have, like, an arch villain for the Doctor. Like, if I did, like, Lego videos, I wanted an arch enemy. I wanted him to have an arch enemy. So, for this one, so his original outfit at first was, like, the Prime Minister outfits, like the one he wore in The Sound of Drums, I think is what the two-parter was called. He wore that outfit because I felt like that one was more of a challenge, like the suit. I didn't really want to make like his like end of time outfit because I thought that was like too simple. Just wearing like a black hoodie and like the red shirt underneath. I didn't like that at first. But then when I saw that the monster was making a return in Doctor Who, I was like, yes! And I definitely had to look at some photos for this outfit because I was confused about what it looked like. I almost thought he was like wearing like a red tie or something, but then when I looked closely, like what was underneath the suit jacket, I then realized like, oh no, it's just like a regular shirt, but with like some kind of brick red, like lining on the inside. So I did my best to like take some. I took like a suit body that I had lying around. I was originally going to use for Bruce Wayne, but I have not gotten started on the minifigure and probably won't. And like I carefully painted like the white shirt and covered a bow tie. Wait, not bow tie. It was like a regular tie. Covered it in black and then did like the shirt in like the red lining. You can kind of see like where the pockets are supposed to be and like where the where the suit jacket connects. Next, there's nothing really on the back because this was like an old minifigure I found in a box. The laser screwdriver was a unique build that I definitely did. I definitely wanted to replicate of like where the Master Sonic screwdriver was of like getting the lightsaber handle and then like getting some gold studs. Like one is a regular one. The other one was actually, I think, was this part of like the Dalek set? I think it was. It was. And then like I cut like one of those, bow staff rods. That some minifigures use as like a bow staff. I cut it up to sort of like match up of what the laser screwdriver would look like. So now he can like blast enemies with it. The hairpiece, this wasn't the original hairpiece. I don't even know what to call it, but it was like the first more common hairpiece, like back when Lego first started out. I then changed that to like a more shaggier kind of hairpiece, and the hairpiece originally was brown, but then I painted up to make it look like a dirty blonde, and the head, it wasn't even the same. So, small story, and a little bit funny. Back the original minifigure, his face originally was more like it had more of a crazy grin and everything. But then one day, when doing the laundry, I pulled it out and I found the minifigure, I found this minifigure with brown hair, a black body, and, no face or body and everything. So it was like, where did this come from? And then later on, when I was looking back at, my Doctor Who showcase on my shelf, I then saw, where's my master? And then I realized, oh, that's what was in the laundry. Oops. So moral of the story, always check your laundry before you wash it. And finally, the facial hair piece, the facial hair I painted on, last night. Now, it was a little tricky because I didn't want to, damage anything. I think this is, one of the first minifigures I've done for, I painted on facial hair. And I think it turned out pretty well. Very well. And this is, a pretty cool John Sims master, and I hope he gets to make, more comebacks in the future. It'll be amazing. Now then, let's begin to wrap this video up. And that does it for part 2 of LEGO Doctor Who. This was a pretty interesting showcase. I don't know how long this will be. Just with, the previous minifigures I've done, it went up to about 25 minutes. And I originally didn't do, my usual outro into it, because I kind of want to make, the showcase blend together. I don't know if I'll do, some more Doctor Who minifigures in the future. I might. Maybe I'll do, a Missy, Ice Warriors, probably, some more villains. But some villains that I don't want to do, some minifigures I don't want to do are, some of the more minor villains, maybe the Vasta Narada, mainly because that's more of, a shadow. Let's see, who else? Probably, the Empty Child, because that's mainly, a one-time, and a lot of people are probably going to be surprised by this, but the Weeping Angels, not going to do them, mainly because, they've already been used so much. It's let's dial it back a little bit, because if you're gonna make a good Doctor Who villain, you gotta have it, show up at rare occasions, and that's a problem with the Weeping Angels. I feel like they've been used too much, so it's let's give them a break. And I might do some more companions in the future, maybe some more male companions, and I haven't fully figured it out, but let me know if you guys want to see, some more Doctor Who minifigures, and I'll work on it in the future. But let's jump over to part 3, and finally wrap up this giant showcase.